performed by the Central Catholic High School Pep Band.
I'm not hearing any audio from when I started recording when they started playing the national anthem because I figured they were going to start right after.
Yeah, no, it's about 8 minutes after. So these guys are going to start talking 3 minutes before, so start recording at about 5 minutes before.
Okay, so
5 minutes on the clock, yeah. I don't know why you're not hearing anything. I thought.
Well.
Are you seeing it? Well, you're seeing it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I heard it. I mean, I heard them when they were talking earlier. So.
Oh well. Yeah.
You know, so,
you're probably just not hearing because the band is loud enough and you can't hear them over the headphones.
Well, yeah, but they're not talking, so.
I know. I'm saying you can't tell that you're hearing them through the headphones because you're also hearing them through the air.
Right. Now, there's a way to control the volume on the headphones, aren't there?
Yeah, but it's all the way up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this camera's notorious about that.
And where is it? It's just buried in the manual?
Yeah.
I take it the screen's on it.
Yeah. I think it's actually in the manual.
No, yeah, okay. Headphone volume and stuff. Okay.
That's live, sorry.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
I mean, I could hear him.
You can hear the announcers, that's nice. We will want to bump this up a little brighter though, because it looked a little dark when I looked at it on my phone.
Okay.
So yeah, you can't zoom in to do it, but just iris it up so that it's blowing out the uniforms.
Okay. And then remind me, I'm getting some good on the uniforms already. Is that good news?
That's good. That's fine. That's it.
And then remind me about what his preference for composition is on football.
The whole line,
Right.
and that's pretty much it. Stay on the whole thing until it's clear what's going to happen. If the quarterback is going to run with it, you can zoom in on him. If he passes it to somebody, you have to pass through. You
have to
go
keep
to the
wide.
reception and then zoom in on the receiver.
Okay. Don't zoom in very far. Right?
No, not very far. Yeah, because you still want to see who's coming in.
Right.
Coming in together. Okay. All right, have fun.
Oh yeah.
And Mike's
Testing,
right behind you.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the Rams of Central Catholic. A reminder that respect for the opponent, spectators, coaches, and officials is necessary at all levels of athletics. So we ask that participants and spectators of both schools act appropriately and treat each other fairly in the spirit of good, healthy competition. The OSAA requests that you model good sportsmanship by refraining from derogatory cheers, chants, or behavior towards students, coaches, officials, or other spectators. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct relating to race, gender, age, color, national origin, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion will not be tolerated. Such conduct may subject the violator to be removed from the event and result in penalties assessed against your school. Any spectator removed from the event may be banned from attending future interscholastic events. Speak out if you see inappropriate behavior by immediately notifying event management staff. The OSAA and the Central Catholic community are committed to a welcoming environment that promotes fair play and respect for all, and I expect the same from each of you here tonight. We request your cooperation in supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Together, we can provide a safe and respectful environment for all.
Good evening, gentlemen. Barlow, you get to call a coin toss. What are you going to call? Heads or tails? Okay, let's see what we got. Heads and tails. Here it goes. It is heads. Barlow, it's your choice. You want to receive the ball? Okay. Central Catholic, which way would you like to kick? Central Catholic, which way? Over here, face Barlow. Barlow over here. Barlow has won the toss. They've chosen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hillsborough Stadium for a top 25 matchup in the state of Oregon as Sam Barlow takes on Central Catholic. I'm Brian Sleik, joined by James Broadous. We'll have your call for tonight's matchup. Central Catholic, they're entering 5-0, and they hold the number 4 spot in the 6A level in Oregon. Meanwhile, Sam Barlow, they are entering 4-1. They look to play spoiler in the Rams' home opener. But this one should be a good one. The Rams' high-powered offense is expected to put up points, but their defense is going up against an unfamiliar territory in a run-heavy offense there, James. So what are you expecting in tonight's matchup?
Well, you know, you talk about the defense going up against this run, and although they have not seen them this year, Coach Pine has seen this style of offense before, and I'm sure he has his team prepared. I'm sure they've watched film, and we know what the offense can do. The tell of the story, the tell of the game is going to be if the defensive line can stop this run from Barlow.
And what are some of those keys that Central's going to have to do today to get that victory over Barlow?
Well, you know, they want to be able – actually, they've been running the score up pretty, I won't say easily, but their offense is so high-powered that they're scoring a lot of points. And so they want to continue doing that. And by the way they're going to do that is by exploiting the wide receivers. You know, Barlow has pretty good DBs, have some good corners, but I'm not sure that they can keep up with the skill and athleticism that the Rams have at the wideout position. So I would imagine that the coach is going to come out throwing the ball early and often and see if they can exploit those matchups.
Well, Barlow won the coin toss. They elected to receive. And so they will have Dakota Pilster back to receive the kick. Asher Weiskell to kick off for Central Catholic.
If you win the toss against the Rams, you're going to want to receive because you're not going to want to get that high-powered offense out there on the field first. You want to try to get you some points on the board early and see if you can keep up with this offense of the Rams.
Javari Martino also back to receive the kick. And you're right, with how fast Central Catholic can jump on the scoreboard against you, it's important to try to get that lead first and put some pressure on the Rams.
Yes, the way they've been scoring points, it's like a pinball machine, you know, and they haven't played from behind very often, so if Barlow has any chance in this game, they would want to get on top early.
And that's not an easy task to do if you break down the scoring by the quarters. Central Catholic's 79 points to just opponents 7 points in the first quarter, so that's a tall order for Barlow, but they think they can do it tonight, and the opening kickoff is in the air. And that'll end up in the end zone for a touchback. So out first for Barlow. Let's get the starting offense for you. Starting on the left tackle, Alex Talimau, Luke Anderson, Nick Owens, Dylan Howell, and Ethan Lavin will be the front five for the Bruins. Quarterback is Gavin Dow with Jake Fay and Hunter McDonald, the running backs. Andrew Collins, the fullback, with Cole Gallant as the tight end, and then Dakota Pilster out on the wing. And Barlow starting in the gun. Inside handoff, and they got a nice chunk of yards right there, pushing through that Rams defense into the second level, and it looks like they picked up 5 yards on that run.
Yes, you know, and they come out in that wing T set, and it gets confusing. Sometimes, you know, you don't know if the guy on the left has the ball, if he'll get the ball and pass it, hand it off to the guy on the right. So it's a lot of movement that takes place, and the defense is going to have to stay disciplined if they want to continue on.
Barlow in white, the Rams in their maroon and gold. Another handoff to Fay, and he's brought down in the backfield. Looked to be tackled by Maddox Carpenter and Mael Jones, meeting him back there. And a loss of 1 on the play. It'll make it 3rd and 6 on the 24-yard line.
You know, Brian, I've been really impressed with Mael Jones. He has continued to get better and better year after year. And right now he's turning himself into a good prospect at the next level.
We mentioned how run-heavy this offense is. Their 2 backs combining for almost 1,000 yards. Ball's on the ground right now. Dow up to throw. The receiver looks back for it. And incomplete. Intended for number 11, Luke Nettles. And on defense was Strider Todd Fields. That ball just hung up too long in the air, and his receiver too far down. He couldn't make his way back to it.
Well, you know, the snap didn't quite make it all the way back to the guy who was going to throw the ball. I won't say the quarterback because it looked like it was going to be a halfback throwing the ball. And, you know, they're not used to throwing that ball. So I can imagine there was a little bit of jitters going on right there. And yeah, that ball never had a chance.
Mason Holland back to punt. Strider Todd Fields. This one shanked. Tough punt for Barlow. That one goes out at the 32-yard line.
32-yard line. 1st and 10 Rams.
And that ball went 7 yards from the line of scrimmage on that punt. So Central Catholic set up in prime position with 10:39 left to go in the first quarter.
I'm sure when Coach Jackson decided that he was going to punt, I'm sure that wasn't in his mind. He didn't envision that result of a punt.
Well, spread formation for the Rams. The front five, Mael Jones, Zach Davis, a freshman making the start. Maddox Carpenter, the center. Joe Marino and Garrett Capolonga is the right tackle. Newman passing on the first play. Goes to the outside, and he's got his man into the end zone. It's Riley Williams diving for the pylon. And the first play from scrimmage for the Rams ends up in a touchdown, 32 yards out. Crew Newman to Riley Williams.
What a play. You know, that's one of those things that we talked about. All the weapons that they have, he just comes out and it's like a kid in a candy store. Which side do I want to go? What candy do I want to pick? He decided on the 6'7" Riley Williams. This is never a bad option. He was wide open. It's a great move off the line of scrimmage. Got himself free and clear sailing after that.
After that catch, he's got 245 yards on the season. That's his 5th touchdown catch.
You think I can draft him in my fantasy league?
I could use another tight end on my team. I
Right.
can tell you that much. It's Asher Weiskell for the PAT. Up and through the uprights, and it's officially 7-0 Rams leading after one play on the offensive side and 10:31 left to go in the first quarter. So obviously the Rams came out, executed right away, much like what we anticipated, but what would you like to see from Barlow in their second drive?
Well, Barlow's going to have to control the ball. You know, they're going to have to, try to take some time off the clock, take as much time before you snap the ball. They're going to have to get that run game going. That first play was up the middle, 6 or 7 yards, and they tried to go off the tackle. Maybe they just need to keep going up the middle if they want to get back in this game. Well, I guess they're not completely out of the game yet. It's just sort of foresight. But if I back up a little bit, you mentioned Riley Williams, tight end. But did you see where they had him lined up right down there?
He was out on the outside the numbers.
Outside the numbers. If you can do that with your tight end, that's some versatility. Riley Williams is going to, and that's what scouts like about him. He doesn't have to just be in tight. He can be out wide and exploit all types of mismatches.
I mean, that's why this young man has over a dozen scholarships already or offered to him, most of them coming from Pac-12 schools. And that's the excitement. He still has another year of high school still to go.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
As this kick ends up in the end zone, another touchback for Weiskell. A lot of firepower on this Rams team, and you think about it, Newman is only a sophomore for Central Catholic, and now you've got him going up with Riley Williams again for next season as well. Not that you want to look that far ahead, but they're set up for success, and that's what Coach Pine has done every single season now in year number 19 at the helm.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that fullback, sort of like a pistol formation. Fay will take it on the outside and brought down by Timmy Mitchell in the open field on the edge.
I don't believe that's going to be a recipe for success for Barlow. You're not going to beat these guys to the corner. Central has too much speed. Your best bet is to continue to try to run up the middle. If you try to turn to the corner, if you try to get to the outside, I don't know how sustainable that is for your offense.
We talk about the youngsters right there. Timmy Mitchell, only a sophomore as well. And they actually lost a yard on that one. It'll be 2nd and 11 on the 19-yard line for Barlow. Stretch play to the outside. Strider Todd Fields, the first man there, and also brought down by the big man, number 12, Amarian Winston.
Coach Pine has really been impressed with Amarian Winston. He's just talked about how he's grown throughout the course of the season, and he's really impressed with, just his work ethic and the things that he brings to the team, not just on the field, but in the locker room as well.
Loss of 2 on the play, correction loss of 3. It's 3rd and 14. as the Bruins are on their own 16-yard line, and a team that loves to run it in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, you want to stay out of 3rd and long or 2nd and long when you have a wing T type offense.
A flag down on the play before the snap. See what the referee calls.
Dead ball. False start.
And we have a false start on the offense, so that'll back them up even more. It'll be 3rd and 19 now.
If you thought 3rd and 14 was tough, 3rd and 19 is almost impossible.
So far for Barlow, after that nice 7-yard gain, now it's 4 carries for no yards. High snap, handoff to look like Fay. He'll take it to the outside. And brought down by number 51, Solomon McDaniel, and number 56, McEwen Bain.
So they're going to bring out the punt unit again. It didn't go so well for them last time, but hopefully, for the sake of the punter, he's got the jitters out, and now he can get a hold of a good one. But if he punts a good punt, you're back here with, was it Strider Todd Field, and can't see the other number over there. That might be
That's
Zach
number
Grisham.
7, yep, Zach Grisham.
So, you might want to just kick it out of bounds again.
And now we've got another flag and another false start on the Bruins, and just make things tougher for your punter back there.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
And not the start that the Bruins would want right now. And I think you're right. With what they should be doing is running that ball up the middle. They keep trying to stretch the field and go to the outside, but there's too much speed for the Rams right now, and they can't get anywhere. Better punt this time, but it'll hang high, and Timmy Mitchell will drop down to his knees to make the catch. And the Rams will start at the 27-yard line of the Bruins.
That punt return lineup right there is really interesting. It's nice. If you look how they're set up. Timmy Mitchell is short. You have Strider Todsfield and
Zach Grisham
deep behind him. So you can't kick it right, you can't kick it left, you can't kick it short or deep. Anybody who catches that ball is a threat to take it to the house.
Well, we gave some love to the big boys up front last time. Let's get you the rest of the starters. Number 84, the tight end. We met him earlier. That's Riley Williams. Strider Todd Fields. Jordan King are the receivers outside. Zach Grisham is the slot back. And Ellis Bynum gets the handoff right here. He's the starting running back. Jukes bounces it to the outside. He's got open field at the 10-yard line, and he'll make it to the pylon and a touchdown. 27-yard run by Ellis Bynum as he picks up his 6th touchdown of the season.
That was a nice run, Brian. That was really nice. You see how patient he was in the backfield? A lot of running backs are just going to get that ball and just bam it right into the back of a lineman. He waited, he bounced, he kept his eyes downfield, bounced it to the outside, and then we talked about that speed. Man, that's a nice run. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns.
I tell you, they don't even give me enough time to introduce everybody that's starting in this game. 2 plays, 2 scores for the Rams, and we're just under 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Asher Weiskell out for the PAT and puts it through the uprights to make it officially 14-0.
Rams 14.
I often have conversations with my friends when we talk about football and some of the stats, they say stats don't lie, but stats do lie sometimes. People constantly think that ball possession, time of possession is what can dictate a game. If we look at time of possession here, Barlow has had the ball, I would say, 5 of these 6 minutes. I'm not getting that.
You can make a case that Central Catholic has only had the ball for a total of 15 seconds.
Yes.
I mean, that's how fast those 2 plays developed for them.
So if you get the stat sheet and you just look at time of possession, you would not think that this would be the score, according to Stats Don't Lie guy. But this right here, they don't need a lot of time to score. When you have weapons like this, you don't need a lot of time to score.
Well, Well, defenses in the past in 2019, their last full season, the Rams defense allowed 20.1 points per game, and right now, so far in this season, they've only allowed 60 points in 5 games. So about 12 points a game right now. That's a big, significant drop defensively in points allowed.
If you're allowing only 12 points a game and your offense can score 40 points a game, you're going to win a lot of games.
This one will stay in the field of play. Oh, and a big hit. Laying the wood that time around was Gavin Jackson, putting his shoulder down and dropping the back.
That was nasty. You want to teach your players to wrap up, but when you can hit that hard and when you hit that perfect with your shoulder, you don't need to wrap up right there. Gavin Jackson, what a blast.
Hunter McDonald seemed to be the one on the return. So Barlow now out for their third possession with their best starting field position at the 25-yard line. Dow in the shotgun. And this one goes through his hands, and he's going to dive on top of it at about the 11-yard line. We'll see where the referee marks him down, and they'll put him at the 12-yard line. And things just not going well for the Bruins. Not a good connection between the center and the quarterback right now. That's Nick Owens and Gavin Dow. We've seen 2 or 3 different snaps now. Either it was low or high. And Dow is all over the spectrum trying to catch that ball.
Yeah, and that's a tough ask for that guy, you know. And then even the center, you know, he's down there trying to protect the ball, get ready to snap it. But look at what he's looking at. You know, right on top of him, he's a little bit anxious right now. Try to get to his blocks.
Inside handoff. Fay on the carry. Well, let's get you the starting defense for the Rams while they're out there. On the front line, Andrew Tennell, Maddox Carpenter, Mael Jones, and then Joe Merlino. The linebacking core, Gavin Jackson, Gibson Coyle, Salon Sanders, Amarian Winston, and then Timmy Mitchell on the outside, Zach Grisham, the safety, and Strider Todd Fields is the other corner. Bit of a different setup for this defense. Usually they're 3-4. And now we got a pass play from the Bruins, and this one in the dirt at about the 19-yard line. And it looked like that pass was intended for Fay on an out route.
Another 3 and out. They're having a hard time moving the ball with the run or with the pass. When he's trying to drop back to pass, there's just not a lot of time. He has to make a decision quickly, and some of that is just self-preservation.
Clock stops at 6:26. Todd Fields, Grisham, and Mitchell all back to receive the kick. High in the air. They'll let this one bounce, and it takes a Rams fortunate bounce down at the 29-yard line by number 19, Javari Martino.
On the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 Rams.
Do they score again on the first play here? Are you, if you were in Vegas?
Would I put that down?
Yes.
I've never had to do that before.
Wow, that's very hard to do. I don't think you could go 3 for 3.
I think it's Jordan King's turn.
He is leading the Mount Hood Conference in receiving yards and receptions. And why don't you mark it down, touchdowns as well. Emerson Dennis into the game, taking over for Crew Newman. And he'll take this first run up to about the 16-yard line. And that'll be enough for a first down as they move those chains. And this was part of what Coach Pine was trying to do. They did this against Sandy a couple weeks back, and rotating the 2 quarterbacks in every couple of drives, because he wants to get both quarterbacks key playing time and not just handing the ball off late in games and getting him playing time that way. So Emerson Dennis into the game now. Only his second rush on the season. His other one was a 50-yard touchdown run. Now he goes to the outside in a mix-up between Dennis and Strider Todd Fields. Looked like Dennis thought he was going to go to the outside. Todd Fields going on a slant on the outside.
Just a little miscommunication. But, sometimes the old adage is if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback. But that's definitely not the case here with Coach Pine and the Rams. He has two capable quarterbacks, and he doesn't just play them. He plays them so they can get valuable minutes and valuable snaps in big games.
Jacob Hardiman in the backfield. He'll take the handoff here into the outside. He's got blockers out in front of him, trying to get to the edge and pushed out at the 5-yard line, but a flag does come in late. And I think that one's probably going to be holding on the receiver, Grisham.
You don't want to see penalties, but you're not mad at your receivers that are out there. They're trying to make blocks. They're trying to help their teammate get into the end zone. So you love the effort. You just may not love the technical parts of it, but you love the effort that he's out there trying to make a way for his teammate to score.
Make a block, spring him free.
The run. Holding on the offense, number 13.
Oh, they're actually going to call it on Strider Todd Fields.
We have first down.
On
do
first
they normally
glance,
say the number? I'm trying to remember.
This is the first time that I've been able to hear high school referees call out the names and numbers. Usually I'm guessing on the hand motion that I can see. And empty backfield for Emerson Dennis. 3 receivers to the right. Todd Fields, Grisham, and King. Hardiman now back into the outfield. It's a screen to King. Comes back inside. Breaks away from 1 tackle, 2 tackles. And he's brought down at about the 13-yard line. And it looked like he was brought down by number 45, Andrew Collins.
Andrew Collins with a stop
It'll
for the
be
Bruins.
3rd and 6 for the Rams offense. How about a little adversity? Mix it into the game here after scoring on their first 2 plays from scrimmage. Riley Williams down on the tight end on the right side. Dennis. Oh, the one-handed grab by Grisham. How did he do that? Stretching across for the touchdown.
Wow.
Check those hands for Stickum. Wow. What a grab right there. I thought Dennis overthrew him, but Zach just came across the middle, and Grisham just pawing that one.
That's just wanting it. That's wanting it. Wanting to make a play. Great play right there. Good hands by Zach Grisham. The Swiss Army knife. He's everywhere. He does everything for this team.
Dennis will pick up his 2nd touchdown pass of the season on that one, and it's officially 21-0 after the Asher Weisskoll PAT, and the Rams running up that score early. We thought this might happen, but really Barlow's offense has not gotten anything going right now. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're still under a dozen yards on the day so far.
Yeah, they're really struggling to get something going, and you have to be able to score if you're going to play with the Rams. Captain Obvious here, but you can't continue to give them good field position. Every time they've had the ball, they started on their side of the 50, and you can't do that for the Rams if you want to try to stay in this game.
I'll do you one better. Not just their side of the 50, their side of the 35-yard line.
Yeah.
The worst field position that the Rams have had so far in tonight's contest is the 32-yard line after a 7-yard punt.
And that's a recipe for disaster if you're the Bruins. Wow, but what a play by Zach Grisham. It's almost not even fair how many guys can play at a high level for these Rams team.
And that's what makes them so dangerous. When you ask Coach Pine, who are you trying to ride on the shoulders of on this offense right now? And he never tells you one person because they spread it out to so many different people. You've got Todd Fields, you've got Mitchell, King, Williams. Now you've got Ellis Bynum, who's back from injury. He missed the first couple of weeks. And then you just saw it right there with Zach Grisham with the one-handed touchdown grab.
It must be fun. Practice must be fun as well.
Competitive. Fay in motion, now the pitch to the outside. Cuts it back inside, and Amarian Winston from his end position, comes crashing in and makes the tackle at about the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
Lane integrity right there. He did not get out of his lane. He just stayed he played his position, stayed disciplined, and he made the play on the cutback. That's a 1-yard gain, though. That's a positive for the Bruins at this point.
A verbal commit to be an Oregon Duck once he graduates from Central Catholic.
Go Ducks.
2nd and 9. Fay in motion again, and the ball's on the ground, flag. And you have to wonder if there's going to be another false start on the Bruins.
I don't have to wonder. I know it is.
For the snap. False start for the snap infraction. 54 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Snap infraction on the center, and that's why the ball was on the ground. So from 2nd and 9 to 2nd and 14.
That's their 3rd snap infraction.
Now, is that because they're picking up the ball and then snapping? I can't remember snap infraction. Winston coming off the edge, handoff to Fay, and Ellis Bynum was the 2nd man in. The first person in was Gavin Jackson, number 21.
Ball carrier, Gavin Jackson.
The holes close so fast with the Rams defense. You know, as much speed as we talk about they have on offense, they have the same amount of speed on defense. That looked like it could break for at least 4 or 5 yards, but that hole closed up so fast. Gavin Jackson, they just came through, and they're making big plays. They're turning from big plays into no-yard gains or possible big plays.
Hunter McDonald back with Gavin Dowd. 7 total yards of rushing right now for the Bruins, and the snap through the hands of Dow.
Now,
second time that's happened.
That snap covered by Gavin Dow.
7 yards total
down.
rushing before that play. Now, can you do the math real quick on that? I mean, it's a tough day for the Barlow Bruins, and I've been on the side in high school football. I've been on both sides, and it's not fun being on where the Bruins are right now.
Back to punt is number 24, Mason Holland. This one heading towards Strider Todd Fields. He'll pick it up off of 1 bounce. He's dangerous. If you give him some space, he's got the edge right now. Going to have to get past the punter, and he spins out of that one, but eventually goes out of bounds. And it looks to be at about the 26-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds by number 20.
He catches the ball on the complete right side of the field, runs all the way over to the left, and almost got that corner. That was a good angle tackling right there by the punter. If not, then Strider Todd Fields is gone again.
All right, let's get you the starting defense for the Bruins since things have been moving so quickly for the Rams offense. On the front line, it'll be Luke Nettles, Max Sixshade, Alex Talamau, and Mason Holland. The linebackers, Andrew Collins, Silas Bugan, and Jake Fay. And Jacob Hardiman is in the backfield with Emerson Dennis. He's out there for his second drive. Dropping back to pass. Got plenty of time going over the middle. He's got Riley Williams, goes up for the catch, and snatches it right over the defender. Make it 27-0 as Riley Williams picks up his 6th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the night. And he just looked like a man going up against a child right there, snatching that ball right over the defender's head.
Yes, he does. You know, I think it's a Geico commercial where Charles Barkley is standing out there and he's standing waiting to get picked up.
For basketball?
Yes, against some little kids. That's what reminded me right now of what I'm seeing with Riley Williams. He's Charles Barkley on the playground of an elementary school.
Weiskell will make the PAT and make it officially 28-0. I didn't even get to the back end. The secondary, who got burned on that last play, is Gavin Dow, Dakota Pilster, Anthony Aruz, and Yamoto Updegrove is the back end, the secondary for the Bruins, who now find themselves down 28-0, and we still have 2:03 left to go in the first quarter.
You know, there's the concern is complacent. You know, when you have a team that scores as many points and that, you know, that has had so much success with as the Rams have, you wonder if the team is going to get complacent. And that's where a good coach like Coach Pine comes in. You know, he talks about his team's maturity. He talks about them being able to sort of just rally around each other and have good competitive practices, and the senior leadership. You know, that maturity is what continues. That's been their mantra all season long. It's just how do they prepare for each game and how do they prepare for each season. That maturity is showing up tonight.
And they mean business when they're out there on the field. It's Weiskell. Boots another one deep. It looks like it'll drop into the end zone for another touchback. But talking about that maturity level for this Rams team, when I talked to Coach Pine yesterday about the maturity of this team and how do they handle the constant fluidity of the schedule that they have. Now, we were supposed to do their home game against Sandy. That got canceled, and then they played it at Sandy the following day. And having to go up to Tumwater after having another game canceled and taking on a wing T offense that is basically foreign in today's high school game. And he just talked about how well that they stayed together. Didn't matter what day or what field it was on. They were going to take care of their business, and that grows from that maturity that you were talking about.
And that's players believing in their coach and staff as well.
Handoff up the middle. And the best run for the Bruins so far today. This carry is by 27, Yamato Updegrove.
Yamato Updegrove on the carry.
You know, and that was one of those double handoffs. You know, he handed it off to the up back, and he on the sort of on the end around and gave it to the inside handoff to Updegrove, and you know had a few people confused. If you can do that in this offense, that's really where this offense is, where the bread is buttered in this offense, where you can confuse the defensive line and confuse the linebackers, and it worked for them right there. Now they're back to 7 yards total offense.
2nd and 3 from the 27-yard line for the Bruins. Down in the gun position. McDonald gets the handoff. He's going to go up the middle, and he's met by the linebacker and pushed down to the ground.
Handoff to Hunter McDonald.
Tackle made by number 51, Solomon McDaniel.
Okay, the Bruins have something going right there. You know,
Pick up their first down of the night.
That's good for a Barlow. First down.
They're able to continue on this pace, just move the ball 3 or 4 yards every down, they'll be all right. They can get that run game going.
Direct snap to Jake Fay, and he's met at the line of scrimmage, wrestled down. Wrestled down by number 75, Maddox Carpenter. Carpenter going both ways, the nose tackle, or excuse me, defensive tackle and center. He's getting a lot of play on the front line tonight. McEwen Bain checking into the game.
That was a high snap right there, you know, and he made the save for the so the ball doesn't go over his head, but it just gave the defense time to penetrate the line.
Well, Dow is now off.
That's the end of our first quarter. Our score
Is now off the field. What I was going to say was Jake Fay is taking the direct snap to running back, and Hunter McDonald, their other back, was lined up to the right of him.
I think what Coach Jackson is doing, you know, he's put Jake Fay at basically at quarterback and just maybe added another blocker. You know, we're going to direct snap and just try to get as many yards as we can. We're not going to pass the ball. They're not going to pass very often. So go ahead and put one of your big bruising running backs back there and see if you can, you know, plow forward for 3 or 4 yards.
Coach Jackson is a very interesting story. I don't know how much you've read up on him, but he's at his 7th program. But because he's so interesting is because every time he goes to these programs, there are either teams that have either had a 0-win season or a 1-win season, and he turns them into playoff contenders within the next couple of years, and he's done that at 5 of the 6 other schools that he's been to. So really a solid coach, really built around sort of the same things that Coach Pine does, where building the relationships with his players instead of it being more like a transactional coach-player relationship, and it's been proving dividends for him for years now.
Right, and if you want to change the culture of a program, it all starts with relationships. You're not going to be able to change. And you say he's taking over teams that have 0 losses and 0 wins, 1 wins like that. You're not going to be able to change that culture with just X's and O's. You're going to have to do other things off the field. You're going to have to build these relationships so the players will trust you, and it looks like that's what he does in his other programs. And I'm sure he'll do it here at Barlow.
Dow back in at quarterback. Fay, his running back, takes the handoff, goes up the middle, and brought down by number 55. That's Joe Merlino.
McDonald, the ball carrier.
You see Barlow after every play, the quarterback trots over to the sideline, get the next play, brings it back in. You know, they're not subbing in their play. The quarterback runs and gets it over there. And I think that's just a way that you can continue to slow the game down. You know, there's no need in hurrying. We're trying to keep the ball. They're trying to keep the ball out of the Rams' hands, offensive hands, and that's one way to help do that.
McDonald the run. He'll get past the marker for the first down, tackled at the 46-yard line.
McDonald on the carry. Merlino with the stop.
Merlino on the tackle.
That's good for Barlow. First down.
And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line, and so they finally have some momentum going their way.
And I'm sure the coach will point to, look, when we don't get any penalties or when we don't get bad snaps, I'm sure he will point to we can do some things. But those type of deals really hurt you.
Hand off to McDonald. Again, plowing his way through a couple of defenders and picking up those hard yards up the middle. Met by number 56, McEwen Bain.
McDonald on the carry.
Maddox Carpenter also in on the tackle. Pickup of 4 on the play.
On the stop.
It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 50-yard line. It's Crew Newman warming up now as he'll be ready to go back in after his 2 series were up. Fay is the running back next to Dow. Low snap, gets the handoff to Fay. Going to take it to the outside, cuts it back in, and Merlino whips him down at the 49-yard line. Pickup of 1. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Merlino was like, no more. No, we're done with all that.
He is all over the field right now, and as somebody who's on that front line, he's seeing the ball carrier well.
Absolutely. He's coming from his tackle position all the way out to close to the numbers to making plays. That is exactly right. He is seeing that ball. He's not being fooled by any of this misdirection.
Fay the back. Andrew Collins the fullback. Now it's a handoff to Updegrove on some misdirection, but the Rams not fooled. It's a pickup of 1.
Upgrove with the carry.
Another one of those double inside handoffs.
Ellis Bynum with the stop.
Ellis Bynum came up to make the tackle on that last play. Now it's going to be 4th and 5, and if you're Barlow, your punting game's not been the strongest, and this is the best field position you've had all game, you have to be going for it in this situation when you're already down 28-0.
You have to. You know, and you really have nothing to lose at this point. You've been moving the ball. This is your best field position, the best drive that you've put together. The referees are stopping the play.
8:30 left to go in the second quarter.
Too many men.
Dead ball. Delay of game on the offense.
And delay of game on the offense.
Remains 4th down.
Now, Hillsborough Stadium, a bit different than normal high school stadiums. You do have the play clock. Normally, the players are having to look at the referees and watching when their arm is in motion.
Timeout has been called.
Timeout called by Barlow. They're going to talk things over.
Join us for the ESPN Showcase Tailgate.
And after that 5-yard penalty, it would be 4th and 9 from the 47-yard line. So when you thought you had a for sure going for it on 4th down moment, now you back yourselves up, and they're going to have to punt here as Holland comes out.
Drink ticket and appetizers.
As a coach, I'm mad at myself. I'm Coach Jackson, but I'm really pissed off. Can you say that? I'm sorry. I'm really mad at my assistant coaches. This is our best opportunity to continue moving the ball. Nobody knows. Nobody's paying attention to the play clock. Nobody can get in the headset or say call timeout or anything like that. Now you put yourself in a bad position where you have to punt. So that type of stuff is what winning programs. That's what I'm sure the Coach Pine and his staff has that type of continuity, so that you can call timeout. You can let them know that the play clock is running down.
Holland gets a good punt off, end over end. Todd Fields will take it, runs backwards, and he's tackled at the 10-yard line. Play made by number 45, Andrew Collins.
Tackle made by number 45, Andrew Collins.
So some small positive play after some negative ones for the Bruins, but they pin the Rams back in their deepest territory of the night. Before that, the farthest back, 32 yards on the Bruins side of the field is where they would start. So here they start. Correction, at the 15-yard line. Crew Newman back in at quarterback as Ellis Bynum will be the running back with him. Grisham and King, the receivers on the far side. Strider, Todd Fields, the receiver on the near side. Williams down at the tight end. Newman rolling out to his left. He's going to go second level to Grisham behind him, and he makes the catch at the 25-yard line, and he'll be tackled by number 27, Updegrove.
Pass complete to Zach Grisham.
It's a nice play right there. Newman had a high-low going basically with Riley, Williams, and Zach Grisham, and he chose Zach Grisham. Threw it a little bit behind him, but as a wide receiver, if you can get your hands on it, you can catch it. And that's exactly what Grisham did.
Pistol formation now for the Rams. Hardeman, the running back, takes the handoff. Correction, that's Gavin Jackson slicing his way through the defense, making it up to the 37-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Rams.
And up to number 21, Gavin Jackson.
The Rams have the passing game going. Now they're getting the running game going.
Brought down by number 21, Anthony Araz.
Pretty much clicking on all cylinders at this point.
Anthony Aruz making the tackle on the sweep. Todd Fields, but no, Newman keeps it himself. Has Williams out in front blocking, and a couple of Bruins come in and put a hard hit on Newman.
Newman on the keeper.
McDonald and Collins in on the tackle. And you're going to hear those names constantly. It sounds like Hunter McDonald all over the field, and same with Andrew Collins, the linebacker / fullback for the Bruins. Gavin Jackson to the right of Crew Newman. Dropping back to pass, rolls to his right. He's going to go deep for it. He's got King in the middle of the field, and he makes the catch at the 28-yard line, trying to slip the tackle, and he can't. He's brought down at the 27-yard line.
Bring it back.
Penalty on the play.
And there is a penalty flag in the backfield. He was brought down by number 19, Javari Martino. Let's see what the penalty flag is.
They're walking back like that.
Yeah. On the offense, number 75. The penalty is 10 yards.
Holding on Maddox Carpenter, the center. And you have to wonder, playing both ways, small fatigue factor maybe.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And again, understanding that Barlow just had their best drive of the game, and so you hadn't played for that many downs before prior to this snap, so prior to this drive, so I would imagine fatigue does play a little part.
Hand off to Gavin Jackson, cuts it back to the right, got a blocker in front of him, taken down at the 41-yard line, picked up a lot of yards on that play.
Jackson, the ball carrier.
Looks to be about a pickup of 13.
Collins in on the stop.
Right back in manageable third down.
And they're going no huddle, trips right. They hand it right back to Gavin Jackson, and he's met up in the middle and wrestled down by number 72, Alex Talamau.
Jackson again, the ball carrier. Ivan Schrepping in on the tackle.
They're going tempo again. They're not bringing out.
4th and 5. It'll be trips left with the tight end down. Grisham. And number 19, Blake Anderson. The receivers on the near side. King on the far side. It's a handoff to Gavin Jackson on the near side. Has the edge, trying to stay in bounds and push down. Collins eventually meeting him near the sideline. Will push him out of bounds near the 40-yard line. That'll pick up the first down on 4th and 5. The 1st and 10 from the Barlow 40 for the Rams.
That's extreme confidence in your whole offense and all your whole arsenal. You've shown that you can pass and get touchdowns and first downs, and on 4th and 5, you run the ball with Gavin Jackson and pick up a big chunk of yards.
4 carries for 42 yards for Gavin Jackson. Now Newman winds up to throw. He's got Riley Williams in the middle of the field, and he'll carry the defender into the end zone. His 3rd touchdown catch of the night.
Riley Williams is having a day. He is having a day today.
Let me tell you, with weapons like these, it's easy to be the quarterback in this system, and Crew Newman.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine stepping back and throwing the ball? On a couple of those touchdowns, he could have had Jordan King on the right or Riley Williams on the left, and he sort of threw it in the middle and let them go and fight for it. And Riley Williams is coming down with that ball. Charles Barkley.
Wise goal for the PAT, and it is good. And it's officially 35-0 with 5:37 left to go in the second quarter.
Started at the 15, an 85-yard drive, a 4th and 5. They faced a little bit of adversity right there. They went hurry up. You see all the tricks that Coach Pine has. I mean, all the things that they practice, all the game plans, all the preparation. You've seen it all in that drive right there. You've seen runs for big plays. You've seen pass plays for big plays. Again, you've seen some adversity. I'm really impressed with this Rams team.
Just to put it into perspective how lopsided some of these games have been, Camas was the closest game they had. That was their first game of the season. And at that point, it was 28-17. But throughout the whole year, 230 points scored by Central Catholic. Meanwhile, their opponents only getting 60 points on the year.
230 to 60. That's incredible. That's the makings of a great season.
Coach Pine just has this team on all cylinders right now, and they're rolling along through this schedule. And we talked about being complacent and having the maturity for this team to keep going forward and not get stuck in some type of rut. They don't want to, as Coach Pine said in our interview, doesn't want to stub their toe before they go up against Clackamas in the final week of the regular season on national television. Short kick taken at the 8-yard line. Taken in by number 19, Javari Martino. Now he's going to the outside and can't break the shoestring tackle. Brought down by number 10, Timmy Mitchell. But a great return for Barlow. Sets him up at 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Martino was showing some little fleet footwork right there. He was dancing to the right, dancing to the left. He was trying to move the crowd. Timmy Mitchell came and shut that down.
And he's a young stud that if you're going to be watching this team for the next couple of seasons, you're excited about him. He had a rough opening night, returning a few punts in that first game against Camas, but has really come into his own. The coaches trust him out there on an island. Here's a run for Jake Fay and lifted up by the Rams defense, Zach Grisham. Met him along with number 51, Solomon McDaniel at first. And Amari and Winston also in on the tackle.
host of rams. What do you call a bunch of rams? Are they like a pack of rams?
It's a great question.
They are. We'll call them a pack of rams until someone gets a better answer. Because whatever it was, they were all right there.
It was a mob of rams.
It was a mob of rams.
And another double handoff, this time to number 21. That's Anthony Aruz. He's taken down after a pickup of 8 yards.
You know, that's a nice play, play design. One of the things that I'm recognizing, though, is the quarterback goes to the left, hands the ball off to the right. But when the quarterback goes left, he's taking the defense is flowing that way. And now they hand it to the right, and he comes back to the left with the ball, and the defense is already flowing that way.
And I'm wondering if they're trying to have their momentum going back that way, that the guy's already behind the defense,
So
maybe?
he can cut in behind him, yeah. That's probably how the design of the play is supposed to work.
3rd and 2 at the 38-yard line. Handoff, tackle down at the 42-yard line, excuse me. That's Marion Winston picking up the ball carrier.
Fay on the carry. That's good for a Bruin first down.
Jake Fay will pick up that first down as Gavin Dow now comes back on with the new play for the Bruins. .330 left to go in the first half. It's been all Rams. 3 of their touchdowns came on 4 total plays. Hand off to Fay. McDaniel missed the first tackle, and then a mob of Rams coming up there. Final man to make that tackle was Zach Davis.
Zach Davis,
freshman, getting his name called.
Getting his name called. That's a big thing for freshmen.
Davis getting the start on the offensive line as well. He's the starting left guard for the Rams in tonight's contest. And subbing in for Maddox Carpenter on the defensive line. Second and 10, 42-yard line. 2:30 left to go in the first half. And the double handoff again. Up to Grove is met near the line of scrimmage by Riley Williams. And no gain on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 10.
Upgrove on the carry. Fidel on the tackle for the Rams.
If the Bruins could open up their offense a little bit with a pass here or there, you might be able to catch the Rams sleeping a little bit. But I'm just not sure they're very trustworthy of their offense, of their passing game, I should say.
Third and 10 at the 42-yard line. 1:45 left to go in the first half. Dow dropping back to pass, puts a high arcing throw out there and broken up by Timmy Mitchell. Pass intended for number 27, Yamato Updegrove. But what a play by the sophomore right there. Saw the throw coming in, timed it perfectly, swatting it at the high point.
Again, he didn't get fooled by any of the runs. He didn't get fooled by any of the play action. He just stayed in his lane and played his position, stayed disciplined. There's no completed passes in this first half by the Barlow Bruins.
Holland back to punt again. He's gradually gotten better back there, getting his punts off after a 7-yard punt on his first attempt.
Punt formation for the Bruins.
Todd Fields now the up man, as Timmy Mitchell is the closest Ram to that football as it goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. The referee will mark it out at the 31-yard line. So that's where the Rams will take over with 1:29 left to go. But how fast this offense has been able to score, 89 seconds, should be no problem.
They could score, and 9 seconds. If they, the type of offense that they have, the type of weapons that they have, there's a lot of different ways they can score. We've seen 3 touchdowns by Riley Williams at this point. I would not be surprised if you've seen 4 before the half.
Crew Newman coming into today's game, 44 completions on 64 attempts, only 1 interception on 17 touchdowns. He's added 2 more touchdown passes, though. He's got 19.
Like
Good call there, partner. The pass is completed to Blake Anderson.
Pass is complete.
Brought down at the 41-yard line, and they will move the chains for a first down.
Upgrove with the tackle.
You can still tell sometimes by high school kids how intense their lineup is. How they.
Newman, a tempo throw out to Riley Williams. Pickup of about 8 on the play. Pushed out by Dow.
How they approach the line of scrimmage. Receivers sometimes will tip off if it's a pass or a run by their approach to the line of scrimmage. When they get up there and get that split just a little bit wider, start adjusting their gloves, you can pretty much bet it's going to be a pass play.
Those are some of the smaller things that if you're on the other side, you could pick up on and clue yourself in. Here's a pass to the flat, caught by Grisham. Gets away from one defender and brought down by a couple of Bruins.
That's what I like about Grisham. He had an opportunity to go out of bounds. He's not going out of bounds. He's trying to delay. He's trying to lay some hits just as much as he is trying to get yards.
Martino was the one who made that last tackle. Newman back to pass again. He's going deep for Riley Williams, and a one-handed catch in front of the defender. He's at the 5-yard line, fighting his way, stretching for the touchdown. Incredible.
No.
4th passing touchdown for the Rams. 3rd touchdown reception for Williams.
Wow.
And do you think Crew Newman has a best friend out there on the field tonight, or what?
Yes, he does. Are you serious right now? Did he just do that?
I thought for sure with the 2 defenders around him, he was going to get knocked down. He goes up and one-hander again. We already saw it from Grisham, and now we see it from Riley Williams. And with the PAT, it is 42-0 with 44 seconds left on the clock.
Are you serious, Brian? Right there, even after the catch itself was amazing. The one hand, he sort of batted it to himself, caught it, but now you have to carry 2 guys 10 yards into the end zone. For a high school player, I tell you, man, they need to pull that helmet off. That's Charles Barkley underneath that helmet.
He used all 6-7 of himself to get that stretch across the goal line, like you said, with a couple of defenders draped all over him. And, math is not my strong suit, but I'm pretty sure that was done in 45 seconds. There's 44 seconds left, and they took the ball over with 1:29.
Riley Williams has had a great career this game. That's, man, 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Williams picking up on 3 of them. He had 4 touchdowns coming into today's game. He's got 3 alone tonight.
Oh, is it 3? Oh,
4 touchdown passes for the team.
Okay.
With Dennis's pass to Zach Grisham and the one-handed grab in the other end zone. So Asher Weiskell set the kick. And what is a quiet night for the Barlow Bruins. Martino taking the kickoff again, and Timmy Mitchell coming up and making the tackle in the open field at the 18-yard line.
Timmy Mitchell with the tackle.
Martino, I know he's trying to make some plays for his team, and I respect that, but he may just let that ball go on into the end zone and just, bring it on out to the 25 and not withstand those hits. Wow.
After this entire opening half, Jordan King still doesn't have a catch, if I remember correctly. Riley Williams and Zach Grisham. Jake Fay will take the handoff, met in the backfield by number 54, Andrew Tennell. And Tennell is the end on the backside of that play and virtually untouched.
McDonald on the carry for the Bruins. Andrew Tennell on the stop.
It's a tough first half for the Bruins. You know, I give them respect. They're still trying. They're still fighting. This is what high school sports is about. But it's just really unfair that they're outmatched at this point.
Hunter McDonald, the running back. Dow will keep it himself. He has an opening in the middle of the field and hit hard by number 4, Solon Sanders.
Dow on the carry.
Pickup of 7 on the play, and that is going to end our first half. 42-0. It is all Central Catholic Rams. And before we head into break, you know, what were some of the things you really liked out there, James, from Central Catholic in that first half?
Well, you know, at the start of the game, we talked about the interview with Coach Pine. He really wanted to exploit the matchups with his receivers. He said his guys are just athletic and skillful, and they're a tough guard for anybody. The Barlow Bruins, as we see, it's a really tough matchup for their DBs against the wideouts of Central. So I'm really, I'm liking the fact that they had a game plan, they came out and executed, and they've shown everybody that there's not a whole lot that you can do with the skill positions of the Rams.
That's James Broadous. I'm Brian Sleik. That's the end of the first half. We'll be back in a few minutes to give you some stats from some of the stars in that first half and the second half kickoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment this evening, actually halftime entertainment part 1, please welcome the Central Catholic Varsity Cheerleaders. Have your attention, please. There is a white Tesla parked in the fire lane. It needs to be moved immediately, or we have people here that will help move it for you. Once again, a white Tesla that's parked in a fire lane, you need to move it now. That Tesla is over by Gate A. Gate A in the fire lane. Please move your white Tesla. We thank you for helping us out.
Yes.
Welcome back to Hillsborough Stadium. Just a minute before the second half is kicking off. Brian Sleik and James Broadous with your call. Some stats in the first half for Central Catholic. 141 yards rushing on 7 carries. Gavin Jackson was the leading rusher with 4 carries for 49 yards. And then passing through the air, Central Catholic going 10 of 11 for 197 yards. And the big man, Riley Williams, 4 catches for 143 yards and 4 tutties to go along with that. Just a casual 4-touchdown night in the first half for 338 total yards of offense for the Rams. Meanwhile, for Barlow, 41 yards on 17 carries. Their leading running back is Jake Fay, 7 carries for 13 yards, and they're 0 for 3 in the air. So 41 total yards of offense. They've had 4 penalties for 20 yards as well, and that really hurt a couple of their drives. Most notably, I think it was their last one where they got to the 50-yard line, and then the penalties came up and bit them from behind.
they're having trouble moving the ball against this Rams defensive front. And then when you put yourself in a position to where you start losing yards, going backwards off of pre-snap penalties, it just compounds the problem. And that's really what Barlow is going through right now. But I just can't think enough or just talk enough about Riley Williams. That career he had in the first half is just amazing.
Yeah, to wrap up the scoring in the first half as this ball goes off of Grisham and out of bounds, which I don't think should be a flag. I think he just waved it off. And they are waving off that flag. But yeah, 42 points. So we're talking 6 touchdowns, 4 of them for Riley Williams, 1 of them for Zach Grisham, and then Ellis Bynum. You forget that only the second play of offense for the Rams was a 27-yard touchdown run by the young man.
A very nice 27-yard touchdown run as well, you know.
Stutter step, took it to the outside.
Hit that corner and he was gone.
Well, with it 42-0, it is a running clock here in the second half. And Emerson Dennis will be the starting quarterback for the Rams. Out for his 3rd series. 2 touchdown passes for him, 1 to Williams, the other one to Zach Grisham with a one-handed grab. Fumbles the snap and recovers it, dropping down to his knees.
Bad snap recovered by Emerson Dennis.
A loss of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 8-yard line.
We talked about in the first half, we talked about that complacency of just, you know, you've been scoring a lot of points and been beating teams pretty handily. And how do you keep them from being complacent? We talked about maturity, and this maturity is going to have to show here in this second half.
As Bynum takes the handoff to the outside, got away from one defender and brought down by a familiar man, Andrew Collins, who just has a nose for the football tonight. And Bynum picking up what looks to be about 9 yards on that run. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 17-yard line. Anderson and King are the receivers on the far side for Dennis. Slant play. Now Emerson Dennis is going to have to run it himself. And wrapped up and brought down by Collins. Looks to be about a yard short of the first down.
Collins with the tackle.
It'll be 4th and 2. And Asher Weiskell comes out to punt the first time for this Rams team in tonight's contest with 9:30 to go in the 3rd quarter.
His leg is probably cold.
Asher
You know.
Weiskell
He hasn't been used all day today.
Javari Martino is back to receive the punt. Not totally true. He's been kicking the PATs and the kickoffs.
That is true.
Good punt for Weiskell. From the 21-yard line to the 32-yard line. And there is a flag down at the 20-yard line. And if this is encroachment on the defense, that would be an automatic first down if they lined up in the neutral zone, excuse me. So normally if it was a false start, they would have called the play dead, but no, it's holding on the Rams.
So the Bruins will probably make them re-punt, you know. It's you have pretty good field position, but hey, a bad snap may pick up easy points.
On the defense, number 50, at least 10 yards from the spot of the flag. We'll replay 4th down.
The mic cut out, so the young man gets his name saved on the penalty. 8:15 left to go in the 3rd on a repunt. Weiskell will punt from his own end zone now as the ball is at the 10-yard line.
Once again, Weiskell to kick.
Martino back to receive the punt. Weiskell drops it in his own end zone, and it's blocked. And that'll be a Barlow touchdown.
Ball is recovered in the end zone. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Barlow.
Silas Bugan will recover that one for the touchdown. And the Bruins are now on the board. Weiskell looked like it was a low snap, couldn't get a handle on it, then panicked, tried to punt it into a couple of Bruin hands. And then number 22, Silas Bugan, ends up at the bottom of the pile, and points for the Bruins. They now trail 42-6.
And if you're a Bruin fan, you have to be happy about that, obviously. You know what I mean? That's why you make them repunt. You know, that's why you make them repunt in high school sports, because anything can happen. Bad snap or mishandled snap leads to a touchdown.
Attempt the extra point.
Danny Sanchez for the extra point. Todd Fields almost came flying in to block that one. The PAT is good, and it is 42-7. And a 35-point lead now for the Rams with 7:44 left to go in the third.
Attention all 8th graders.
So as I was mentioning a little bit ago, I think Coach Pine is going to really challenge his team, because, you know, that complacency, you can be prepared for that week by week, but sometimes it happens quarter by quarter, or in this case, half by half. You go into the half, you're up 42-0 pretty easily for all intents and purposes, and so you come out in the second half, you don't have that same focus. And this is when the coaching staffs get behind their players, and they let them know that this is not how we're going to continue playing. And your players have to rise to the challenge.
Coach Pine seems calm, cool, and collected after that last play. But the Rams offense will come right back out onto the field. Timmy Mitchell and Strider Todd Fields back to receive the kick. And Todd Fields had a couple of nice runbacks in that opening game against Camas. And he can certainly make you pay on special teams. So the Bruins will have to be careful on this kick.
Onside kick, maybe?
Maybe a squib. Keep it out of the air. Sanchez with the kick. It'll go to Timmy Mitchell at the 15-yard line. Picks it up. Slips and brought down at the 19-yard line. And it looked like Jake Fay was the one who made that tackle.
Mitchell on the return, brought down by number 47, Jake Fay.
So it'll be 1st and 10 as the referee puts the ball down at the 20-yard line on the far hash. And the clock running at 7:20 left to go in the third quarter. Emerson Dennis, the quarterback again on this drive. Jacob Hardeman will be the running back. Anderson and King, the receivers on the far side. Williams, the tight end that's down. Zach Grisham, the receiver on the near side. Hand off to Hardeman to the outside. They've got the edge thanks to a block set by Williams and brought down at the 29-yard lines by number 45, Andrew Collins.
Andrew Collins.
Pickup of 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 1.
That's exactly right. He gets that edge because that was a great block by Riley Williams right there, just setting the edge for him. And you follow your block, made it to the outside, picked up an easy first down, or close to.
Another handoff to Hardeman. This time he cuts it back inside. Had a defender on his shoes and breaks away from another one. Wrestled down at the 46-yard line. Brought down by number 16, Cole Gallant.
Brought down by number 22, Silas Bouchon.
And now we have an injured Bruin down on the field. And that's number 45, Andrew Collins. Things haven't really gone the Bruins' way in tonight's game, but that's a young man that they cannot afford to lose. He has been all over the field defensively.
Yeah, he's making plays. He's making a lot of tackles. I'm sure he's got to be up there and leading the team in tackles somewhere close to the top, because he has a nose for the ball. And it looks like he's cramping up. At the stretching that the trainer is doing looks like he's trying to stretch this cramp out.
Nothing some pickle juice can't fix.
The old pickle juice.
Remember the first time I came across that, I thought, no way that would work.
Does it work?
It does, surprisingly. Oh. I don't know how.
I just have to have a cramp. I'm just not drinking pickle juice.
That's what they were doing at the D1 level. Tight end down on the far side. Hardiman takes the handoff up the middle and brought down after a minimal gain. Fay on the tackle.
Hardiman on the carry. Fay with the tackle.
Pick up a 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 49-yard line. As Emerson Dennis has led the Rams offense onto the Barlow side of the field. Anderson and King, the receivers on the near side. Hardiman taking another handoff. Gets away from a defender, bounces outside, now back inside. He's got an opening. He could take it all the way. He's at the 20, reaching towards the sideline, cuts it back inside, and brought down at the 6-yard line. Dow in on the tackle along with Silas Bugan. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
1st and goal for the Rams from the 7.
Hardiman, great run right there. Letting the blockers set up in front of him, and just great vision as well. Went outside, cut it back inside.
And that was, again, right off the back of Riley Williams. Riley Williams, I was watching Riley Williams and Hunter McDonald, number 4, have a battle. They've been battling these last 3 or 4 possessions.
Hardiman will take the handoff and through the arm tackle and into the end zone. Another touchdown for the Rams.
Welcome to the John Hardiman Show.
Great running from him on this drive.
Jacob, I'm sorry.
5 carries, 70 yards for Hardiman, as he picks up his 2nd touchdown on the season. Came into today 30 carries for 218 yards. He's averaging 7.3 yards per carry, and after that long run, you have to imagine that one's gone up. And with the Y School PAT, it is now 49-7.
Rams 49, Bruins 7.
I believe that whole drive was Hardiman right there. Hardiman left, Hardiman right, Hardiman up the middle. And when you can see that he put up 42 points in the first half without us even calling Hardiman's name, then you come right out in the second half. That just shows there are a lot of weapons out here on this Central Catholic team. And I can't say it enough.
Just so much depth, and
so much
Coach
depth.
Pine is so fortunate to have this many weapons that he can dig deep into his bench and still have the production.
Right. And what that does for a team is it keeps everybody going hard in practice. You know that you can't be replaced. Again, I coach basketball, and I tell my guys a lot that when you have a good, solid team, we don't have to put up with any mental mistakes. We don't have to put up with any lackadaisical performances and any of that stuff, because we have guys behind you. We have depth, as you just said, and we can come in with somebody else and won't lose or won't blink an eye. So it keeps everybody hungry.
Weiskell with the kick, and this one will land at the 9-yard line, take a bounce. And wrestled down, and that'll be a horse collar tackle probably, as the flag flies in at the 15-yard line.
Upgrove on the return.
Yamato Updegrove, the return man.
When you're coming down, especially on the kickoff team, on special teams, you're just trying to tackle the guy, you know. And yes, there are some rules that you have to abide by, but at the end of the day, you're trying to bring the guy down, not let him get that corner. No maliciousness intent, and just trying to, just trying to bring him down. And at that time, he got his hands around the neck, around that horse collar.
Crew Newman looks like he's warming up right now, along with the third-string quarterback, Nico May. As the Bruins now out on offense. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. It's a pitch to the outside. And McDonald brought down by Grisham. Initially met by number 55 on that play, Joe Merlino.
McDonald runs hard. He's not going to get stopped by one guy. He keeps his legs moving. He stays behind his pass. He runs hard. And in a game where it's 49-7 with a running clock, you know, you can see kids who are just sort of let up, but that's not McDonald's story.
McDonald came into the game 49 carries for 438 yards. Takes another handoff from Dow, cuts it back into the middle of the field. Salon Sanders meets him and will stop him a yard short of the first down, along with a couple other Rams in on the tackle.
That was that mob of Rams that we talked about earlier. But they needed them all right there.
Collins on the carry, Grisham on the stop.
Under 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Handoff to McDonald, cutting back in. It's a close call. The referees come in at about the 41-yard line. We'll see where they place it. And they're going to move those chains. A first down for the Bruins. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Barlow trying to get onto the scoreboard offensively. Low snap. Dow's going to be throwing this one. Goes to the outside. He's got a man wide open, and he connects on it. Number 34, Boaz Amadio, making the catch and brought down at the 24-yard line.
To number 34, Boaz Amadio.
Nice play, the biggest play of the day. You know, we talked about it earlier. If they could ever sneak a pass play in there, if they had confidence in their throwing, then they could maybe bust out a chunk play, and that's what they did. You know, the DBs got their eyes in the backfield and snuck out behind them and picked up a nice chunk of yards.
And now it's 4-down territory. You have to think for the Bruins this deep into the Rams territory, and you got a false start on the offense. Shooting yourself in the foot before you can really get things going.
Right. That was their first completed pass, and you can see guys are a little bit anxious now. They see that they're getting closer to the red zone, and now a couple people are jumping off sides or moving too early.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Both teams putting up a touchdown on the board. Central Catholic basically going down the entire length of the field. Meanwhile, Barlow getting on the scoreboard off of blocking a punt and recovering it in the end zone. And if you're Coach Jackson right now, I just mentioned it a couple moments ago, this is 4-down territory for your offense, and you're just trying to get chunk plays right now. 15 yards deep. You know, my old coach, when you were playing football, it's like if you're getting 3-4 yards to carry, you run that 3 times, you got yourself a first down, or you run it 4 times, you have yourself a first down. And then you just want that type of consistency, but it just has not been there for Barlow.
And to do that, a lot of times you have to win the battle of the line of scrimmage, and it's tough with this Rams front. It's tough to win that battle for anybody, and as you can see, Barlow, who depends on the run, they just couldn't get anything going. They just couldn't get anything going against that defensive line. They tried to go outside, they tried to spread the field, and they couldn't get anything going against the speed of the Rams either. So it's just, you know, they're just a little bit over, I won't even say a little bit, I'm sorry. They're just overmatched today, if I'm just being real. But right now, you're just trying to build some confidence for your team if you're Coach Jackson. You know, you're going in, you're still trying to work on a few things. Your special team scored a touchdown. Now you're just trying to get your offense to see if they can score and build some confidence going on into next week. This is a process.
And this is a team that has put up points in the past. I mean, you're looking through the first part of their schedule at Nelson. They won 41-0, and then they took on Central, different school, excuse me, but they won 44-28, and they took on Gresham last week and won 48-0. Here's a pass rolling out to his right, a high arcing throw. Strider top field, tried to break it up, he can't. Caught and touchdown for the Bruins. What a grab by the young man. Number 27, Yamamoto Updegrove going up and making the catch. Strider Todd Fields looked like he was going to swat it away. But again, hauled in by Updegrove, and the stretch looking like Riley Williams on the other side of the field to get that touchdown.
Second completed pass of the day right there for a touchdown. Nice play call.
And the PAT is up and good. So the Bruins have found the end zone twice now here in the second half. They trail 49-14.
Check out all the new and exciting designs in Ram
Second
apparel
completed
and
pass.
Go to the Ram
On the same drive, too.
On the same drive.
CentralCatholicHigh.org.
You start to lose your focus as a defense when you're in a game like this sometimes. And you start peeking in the backfield, start looking into areas that are not yours, and you let a receiver get behind you. Looked like Strider Todd Fields was going to be able to knock it down, like you said, but I think he may have mistimed his jump.
I was going to say, it seemed like he was in relatively good position for where the ball was coming in, and because there was so much air underneath it, he was able to gain some ground. Because initially it did look like he got beat only by a step or two.
Mm-hmm. But let's give credit where credit is due. The Barlow Bruins have not given up. They're still coming after it, and nice play and nice catch. You got to concentrate to make that play, and he kept his eye on the ball. Nice play up the Grove.
Michael Williams now in to receive the kick along with Timmy Mitchell. Normally you had Strider Todd Fields back to receive the kick, but again, Michael Williams back to receive the kick from Sanchez. Here's the fans getting into it. Here's a squib to the right side, and Williams smartly lets that one go out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
Marker as the ball goes out of bounds.
And that's the second Sanchez kick that has gone out of bounds. Now, the first one on that last kickoff, though, was touched by Zach Grisham, and that's why they didn't get the flag. But
Illegal procedure with a kick out of bounds.
that kick will move them up to the 35-yard line after that penalty.
Here's my, if we're going to talk strategy, if you're going to squib kick a ball that goes out of bounds, and in this type of situation, I would say you may want to just go ahead and onside kick. See if you can get the ball back. You've given them great field position once again. You know, at this point, there's not a whole lot to lose. This is going to be the end result. Maybe you onside kick.
And now we've got the third-string quarterback in the game, Nico May. I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of the backups start coming into the game. Here's a run to the outside, and a couple of Bruins up to Grove, and McDonald there.
Ryan Anthony on the carry.
Or the run by Ryan Anthony. That'll be a loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12 from the 33-yard line.
Nico May is the lefty.
Ty Jones and Andrew Crail are the receivers on the near side. And yes, you bring up a great point. Nico May is a lefty. So a bit of a different situation. As McDonald
Anthony
making the tackle. Anthony on the run.
Gunnar Hahn with the tackle.
It'll be 3rd and 10 after the pickup of 2. They're back to the original line of scrimmage. Under 10 minutes to go now in the game with the running clock. May is 1 for 1 on the season passing, and they're going to hand it off to Anthony. And there's a ball, the fumble, picked up by Fade. He's going to run it all the way back into the end zone. I didn't hear a whistle, and the referee putting his hands up. That is a touchdown for the Bruins.
I don't think any one of us saw that. You know, it looked like the play was dead. It looked like it was going to be called dead, and next thing you know, Faye running the other way with the football. I think it surprised the referees as well. the play before the Bruins had been trying to rip the ball out of the running back's hand, which is what you're doing at this time. Score clock has went off, but it looks like they were successful at that point at ripping that ball out and scoring a touchdown.
And 49-21 with 9:30 left to go in the game. Now, I've never heard of, they don't stop the running clock, do they?
Once the running clock goes, the running clock goes.
As Bruins now within 28 after putting up 21 points here in the second half so far. Only 7 points for the Rams. But a couple of miscues, a blocked punt that led to a touchdown, and then just that last play you saw there, the fumble, scoop, and score for the Bruins. And now you've scored in all three phases. If you're Barlow, and if you're looking for small victories in today's game, that's one aspect to look at.
Right, and that's what you do when you're in these situations as coaches. You're just looking on things to build on, and like you said, in all three aspects of the game, you've scored. That's something to build on.
Crew Newman now back warming up for Central Catholic. Sanchez ready to kick. It's Todd Fields and Timmy Mitchell back to receive the kick. Mitchell will take it on the hop at about the 6-yard line. Got a block on the outside. Jukes away from one defender. He's going to cut across on the other side of the field. He's got an opening if he can get away from the defender, and he cannot. Brought down at the 35-yard line. And there's some scrapping going down on the field right now. Tackle made by number 21, Anthony Aruz.
Penalty markers on the play.
And a couple of flags get out as there was some jawing between the two teams. And it looked like there could have been some shoving as well.
Yeah, what it looks like is Mitchell, the defense is trying to take the ball. And now when you're tackled, the defender is still trying to get the ball. And there's one thing that we learn in football is we're not giving up that ball. Mm-hmm. So you could be down on the ground, you could be out of bounds, whatever. You're still going to try to hold on to that ball. You're just not going to let somebody else take the ball out of your hands. And I think that's what was going on. Mitchell took exception to it, sort of tried to snatch the ball out, looked more like a push, but I think he was really just like, hey, man, you're not taking this ball from me. And then a lot of times it looks worse than it is with all the people jumping around.
After the play was over, personal fouls that offset. One on the kicking team, one on the receiving.
Two flags on this play. Penalties will offset, unsportsmanlike on both sides. And so Crew Newman, tonight's starting quarterback, will now make his way back out. On his drives, he's 4 for 4 on touchdowns, 3 touchdown passes to Riley Williams, and then Ellis Bynum, who had a 27-yard touchdown run on only the second play from scrimmage in tonight's game for Central Catholic.
Pine was not happy with what he was seeing from his reserves.
There's Bynum, a big opening, and King is going to get called for the flag right there on a hold, and it'll come back in as Ellis Bynum still fighting his way down to the 30-yard line, but it's coming back, and Jordan King knew it immediately. He saw the flag, and he got called for holding.
And he's just out there on the island. You know, it's just him and the DB. It's easy for the referees to see that. I still question if he actually was holding. You know, so you get your hands up by the shoulder pass, and when the defender starts sort of flailing around, it looks a lot like holding. But oftentimes it's really just good blocking.
Yeah, the only thing I saw on that play that would be close to considered holding is basically what you just said. He had the high hands on him, and it looked like the defender was just stepping backwards or trying to, and King was staying with them, and so it looked worse than what it probably actually was. But after the long run from Bynum and the penalty, they'll bring it back to 1st and 6.
In basketball on the sideline, I would be yelling, he was flopping right now.
Doing a great acting job. Bynum will get the ball again, this time taking it on the left side. Cuts it back inside near the hash marks and brought down
Bynum, the ball carrier.
by Jake Fay.
Tripped up by
Bynum will
Andrew
pick up the
Collins.
first down as he's brought down at the
That's good
49-yard
for a
line.
Ram, first down.
6 minutes left to go in tonight's game. Bruins switch out a couple of defensive linemen. Todd Fields and Grisham, the receivers on the far side. Bynum still the running back with Crew Newman. Bynum, the hesitation and the patience at the same time. A flag comes flying in back near the original line of scrimmage as Jake Fay makes another tackle on Bynum after a pickup of about 13 yards, but we'll see what the penalty flag is. It's a holding on Central Catholic. Fingers aren't quite big enough for me to see what the numbers were. That's the fifth penalty now
By the offense, number 75.
on penalties on Maddox Carpenter, but that's the fifth flag on the Rams this half.
This is not going to make Coach Spine happy.
No,
You
I
can
was just
imagine.
thinking that exact same thing as Coach Pine talks about maturity and having your head on your shoulders and not making those simple mistakes. And there it's popped up a couple of times now in just the last few minutes.
You want to finish the game strong. May not as strong as you started because that was impossible to compete to duplicate, but you want to finish the game strong.
And Bynum taken down in the backfield.
Bynum, the ball
Tackle
carrier,
made by
brought down
Fay.
Jake Fay.
And that really pins them back deep now. It'll be 2nd and 22. Correction, 24. Ball at the 34-yard line. Newman passes it out to Jordan King. That's his first reception. Stiffs arm the first defender down the sideline and pushed out of bounds at about the 48-yard line of the Bruins. McDonald in on the tackle along with number 27 Updegrove. And that'll get him close to the original line of scrimmage.
Andrew Collins on the play.
They're saying he stepped out of bounds at the 48-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and 11 for Central Catholic.
Another pass play.
And another curl route for King. McDonald in on the tackle.
Pass complete to King. Hunter McDonald in on the play.
Can't quite see who the other man was that made that tackle. Is number 16, Cole Gallant. And that'll bring up about 4th and 6 now for Central Catholic.
Just little quick ends right there by Jordan King. They're trying to get the ball in their hands and let him get some run after catch yards, some rack yards. But Barlow, they're wrapping him up really quick. Just picking up 5 yards a pop, though.
Williams, with some confusion, stepped off the line. Now he's back down. Fake to Bynum. Newman gets away for the rush. Rolling out to his right. Looks for his receiver near the sideline and through the hands of Zach Grisham. But there is a flag down near the line of scrimmage at the sticks. What movement and pocket presence right there by the sophomore Crew Newman, feeling the pressure coming at him, steps up, dips underneath the tackler, and still able to deliver the throw.
Yeah, no, that's nifty footwork right there. This guy is just getting better and better each game. And like I said, the sophomore, he's going to really be something next year.
Penalty's been declined. The result of the play is a turnover on downs.
Illegal formation on Central Catholic, and it's declined by Barlow, so they will take over 1st and 10 on their own 47-yard line with 2 minutes left to play in tonight's contest.
I would have thought on the illegal formation that the play was stopped before it on the call, but they continued it. Crew Newman made a good throw. After all that he did, he put the ball in a tough spot, but it was a nice throw. And Marion Winston.
Solomon McDaniel and Amarian Winston along with Gavin Jackson bringing down the ball carrier. Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Central Catholic, the number 4 team in Oregon at the 6A level, will move on to 6-0 and 4-0 in conference. And the ball's on the ground. Dow lost it. Central Catholic jumped on top of it, it looked like. And they did. Number 51, Solomon McDaniel, ends up with the football.
Number 51, Solomon McDaniel on the recovery.
So the offense will go back out on the field for Central Catholic. Just when the Bruins thought they got a break at the end of the game, they turned it over with 40 seconds left to go in tonight's contest. And just a victory formation, you'd have to think, with the running clock and running down, only 30 seconds left now. Coach Pine, I'm sure he's going to be happy with how the game started, but in the second half, too many mistakes from his defense. And a couple of mistakes offensively as well that you know he's going to want to clean up before they go to Centennial next week, and then Gresham coming back here to Hillsborough Stadium the week after that, and then the nationally televised game, final regular season game of the season when they take on Clackamas, and that's in a few weeks away. But James, final thoughts on tonight's contest and the 49-21 victory for Central Catholic.
We've seen the Rams in their full glory today. Offensively, they were clicking on all cylinders. They ran the ball well. They passed the ball well. Defensively, they were running to the ball, having a meeting at the ball carrier. So we saw pretty much the best of Central Catholic today. We talked about how well they played in the first half, not so well in the second half. But what that does is it gives, as a coach, it gives you something to continue to work on, keep your guys hungry. I'm sure they'll watch film, and they're just getting better. I mean, this is a good football team, a good, solid football team.
That's James Broadous. I'm Brian Sleik. The Central Catholic Rams remain undefeated for another week, 49-21 over Barlow High School. We'll catch you next time on Ram TV. Thanks for tuning in for tonight's broadcast.